My dear brothers and sisters, today I want to talk about something that touches the lives of all of us. Sickness. It is something that comes uninvited into our lives. Sometimes it comes quietly, sometimes it comes suddenly, but one thing we must always remember is this: sickness has no right to stay in your body. From the very moment we are born, our bodies are a trust from God. They are gifts, they are blessings, and they are meant to serve us, to carry us through our purpose in this life. And when sickness enters, it is not part of that divine plan for us to remain weak. It is not part of that plan for us to remain stagnant. Illness may knock on your door, but it does not belong to you. It has no permanent place. Many of us, when sickness comes, we feel helpless. We think, this is my life now, or I cannot overcome this. But my dear brothers and sisters, the moment we accept sickness as a permanent state, we give it power. And you must know, sickness only thrives in an environment of despair, weakness, and fear. It cannot stand in the presence of hope, faith, and determination. Remember, our faith teaches us that Allah is the ultimate healer. Every illness, every pain, every discomfort is known to Him. No disease can touch you except by His will, and no matter the severity, there is always a way through. It is this belief that strengthens the heart and empowers the soul. When you understand that sickness is temporary, when you know it does not have a right to stay, your body and your spirit begin to respond. It is also important, my dear friends, that we do not ignore the tools and means that God has provided us. Medicine, doctors, and the knowledge of the human body are blessings from Him. Seeking treatment is not a sign of weak faith. It is a recognition of the wisdom Allah has placed in this world. Combine this with prayer, with patience, and with trust in God, and you create a force that sickness cannot withstand. Do not allow negative thoughts to take root. Do not let the fear of sickness control your days. Speak life into your body. Encourage yourself. Say with conviction, I am strong, I am healing. Sickness does not belong to me. Words are powerful. Your mind and your spirit must align with your body. If your heart is filled with hope and your soul is steadfast, the body begins to follow. And let us not forget the power of gratitude. Even in sickness, be thankful. Thank Allah for the parts of your body that still function. Thank Him for the strength you still have. Thank Him for every breath, every heartbeat. Gratitude has the power to shift your focus from weakness to strength, from illness to wellness. When you are grateful, you send a message to your body that it is not defeated, that it is still loved, that it still has purpose. Brothers and sisters, sickness is temporary, but your faith and resilience are permanent. Sickness may test you, but it does not define you. You are defined by your trust in God, by your determination to rise, by your courage to fight and believe in healing. Stand firm, pray sincerely, seek the remedies provided, and never, ever accept sickness as a permanent companion. Remember, this body is a trust. Protect it, honor it, and fight for it. Fill it with positivity. Fill it with prayer. Fill it with hope. Surround yourself with love, support, and care. And know deep within your heart that sickness has no right to stay in your body, for you were created to thrive, to serve, and to live fully. Sickness is a visitor, not a resident. It may come unannounced. It may linger longer than we expect, and it may challenge our patience and our faith, but it has no permanent right over our bodies. We must understand that illness, whether physical or emotional, is a test, a trial, a temporary situation that is meant to awaken us, teach us resilience, and remind us of the fragility of life. Too often, people allow sickness to define them, to control their thoughts, to dictate the way they live. And this is where the real harm begins. The moment we accept sickness as a permanent state, we give it power over our lives, and we forget the reality that healing is always within reach. Our bodies were designed to recover, to adapt, and to heal, and with patience, effort, and faith, recovery becomes not just a possibility, but a certainty. It is important to recognize the difference between acknowledging sickness and surrendering to it. Acknowledgement is an act of wisdom. Surrender is an act of despair. When sickness comes, it is natural to feel pain, to feel discomfort, to feel fear. But these feelings should not dominate our minds. Instead, we should treat sickness as a temporary condition, a passing phase, much like a storm that will eventually clear. This perspective changes everything. When we see sickness as temporary, we empower ourselves to take action, to seek remedies, to maintain hope, and to keep striving toward wellness. The body has incredible abilities when it is treated with respect, nourished with proper care, and accompanied by a positive mindset. From a spiritual perspective, sickness is a reminder of our dependence on God and the fleeting nature of worldly life. It reminds us to turn to Him in prayer, to seek His mercy, and to trust that He is the ultimate healer. But this trust does not mean inaction. Faith works hand in hand with action. When we believe that sickness has no permanent right, we also commit ourselves to caring for the body, following medical advice, and taking steps to recover. There is a balance between spiritual reliance and practical responsibility, and when we embrace both, sickness loses its hold. Sickness may test our patience and our resolve. It may challenge our routines, our plans, and even our optimism. Yet, every challenge comes with an opportunity. Each day of illness is an opportunity to strengthen the mind, to cultivate gratitude, and to reflect on the blessings that remain. Even when the body is weak, the spirit can remain strong. The heart can remain full of hope. The mind can remain clear and determined. This is why the understanding that sickness is temporary is so vital. It allows us to channel our energy into healing rather than despair, into recovery rather than resignation, into faith rather than fear. Another crucial aspect is the mindset we adopt during illness. Many people allow themselves to be consumed by negative thoughts, imagining worst-case scenarios, dwelling on limitations, and anticipating prolonged suffering. This mental approach weakens the body's natural ability to heal. On the other hand, when we consciously affirm that sickness is temporary, that it has no claim over us, we begin to influence our physical state in ways that medicine alone cannot achieve. The mind and body are interconnected. Hope, belief, and determination can stimulate recovery, boost immunity, and reduce stress, making the healing process faster and more complete. It is also important to recognize the social and emotional environment in which sickness occurs. Loneliness, neglect, and negativity can intensify suffering, while support, encouragement, and love can accelerate recovery. When we view sickness as temporary, we naturally seek connections that strengthen our resilience. We reach out for help, we accept care, and we allow others to support us without feeling weak. This is part of the holistic approach to overcoming illness, the understanding that our physical state, our emotional state, and our spiritual state are all interconnected. History and experience are full of examples of individuals who faced severe illnesses and yet emerged stronger, healthier, and more grateful than before. Their success was not just due to medical intervention, but also because they never allowed sickness to claim permanence in their lives. They refused to let it define them. They continued to hope, to pray, to work toward recovery, and to maintain a positive outlook. These examples remind us that sickness is never the end. It is a chapter, a temporary hurdle, a moment in the ongoing story of our lives. Finally, it is essential to treat the body with respect and care, especially during illness. Proper nutrition, rest, and exercise, when possible, support the natural healing process. Following medical advice, taking prescribed medications, and adopting healthy habits are all ways to honor the gift of the body and to reject the idea that sickness has permanent control. The combination of faith, action, and patience ensures that sickness cannot take root. It may visit, but it will not stay. Faith in God is the most powerful tool we possess when it comes to facing sickness and adversity. It is the anchor of the heart, the source of hope, and the foundation of resilience. While medicine, nutrition, and care are essential, they are complemented by something far deeper, an unwavering trust in the Creator, the ultimate healer. When we recognize that our strength comes not merely from our own efforts, but from a higher power, we shift our perspective from fear and helplessness to hope and empowerment. Faith reminds us that no illness is permanent unless it is by divine decree, and that even in moments of suffering, God's mercy, wisdom, and guidance are always present. Many people underestimate the role of faith in the process of healing. They believe that recovery is only dependent on medicine or physical remedies, forgetting that the mind and the soul play a critical role in how the body responds. Faith is not just a passive belief, it is an active force. It inspires perseverance, strengthens patience, and motivates the individual to seek solutions, to remain optimistic, and to continue striving for wellness even when circumstances seem dire. It is through this conscience to God that a person finds the courage to face the pain, the motivation to follow treatments, and the peace to endure moments of weakness. Faith also gives us perspective. Sickness is a test, a challenge, a temporary trial that comes into our lives to remind us of our dependence on God. When we see illness through the lens of faith, we understand that it is not a punishment, nor is it a statement about our worth or value. Rather, it is an opportunity to draw closer to the divine, to cultivate patience, and to reflect on the blessings that we may otherwise take for granted. Each day, each breath, each moment of recovery becomes a reminder of God's mercy. And this awareness strengthens our spirit, which in turn supports the body's natural ability to heal. Prayer is the cornerstone of this faith. When a person prays sincerely, asking for strength, healing, and guidance, they open a channel of communication with the Creator. This connection brings peace to the mind, alleviates anxiety, and fills the heart with hope. Studies in psychology have shown that people who maintain hope and optimism have better outcomes in health-related challenges. Faith amplifies this effect. When we believe that God is the ultimate source of healing, we approach life with confidence rather than despair, and the body responds positively to the mind and the spirit working in harmony. Faith also empowers the individual to accept and endure difficulties without losing hope. There are times when recovery may take longer than expected, or when treatments may not immediately show results. Without faith, such delays can become sources of frustration and despair. With faith, however, a person understands that healing occurs in God's timing and according to His wisdom. This acceptance does not mean passivity. It means maintaining hope and trust while actively pursuing remedies, following guidance, and taking care of the body. The combination of faith and action is what leads to true strength and resilience. Moreover, faith teaches gratitude even in the face of illness. When we are sick, it is easy to focus solely on what is wrong, to dwell on discomfort, and to feel discouraged. Faith reminds us to be thankful for the parts of our body that still function, for the support of loved ones, for the opportunity to seek treatment, and for each moment of life itself. Gratitude, inspired by faith, transforms the experience of sickness from one of helplessness to one of empowerment. It reinforces the understanding that the body is a trust, that recovery is possible, and that God's wisdom is greater than any trial we face. Another critical aspect is the courage that faith instills. Many people avoid seeking help or delay treatments because of fear or hopelessness. Faith provides the courage to confront sickness head on. It encourages proactive steps, the adoption of healthy habits, and the perseverance to continue even when results are not immediate. With faith, a person sees challenges not as insurmountable obstacles, but as opportunities for growth, learning, and spiritual development. Each moment of illness becomes a reminder of the strength that lies within, a strength that is nurtured and multiplied through trust in God. Faith also fosters patience, which is essential in the process of healing. Recovery is rarely instantaneous, and many illnesses require consistent effort over time. The mind and heart may grow weary, but faith sustains the spirit. It allows a person to endure setbacks without giving up, to face limitations without despair, and to continue seeking wellness while maintaining trust in the ultimate healer. Patience, combined with faith, transforms the experience of sickness from a burden into a path of spiritual and personal development, reinforcing the idea that strength and healing come from the Creator. Finally, faith encourages a holistic approach to healing. It reminds us that wellness is not only physical but also mental and spiritual. By nurturing our connection with God through prayer, reflection, and trust, we create an environment within ourselves that promotes recovery. This spiritual foundation complements physical care, ensuring that the individual approaches healing in a balanced and complete way. One of the most important aspects of overcoming sickness is understanding that seeking medical treatment is not a sign of weak faith. Rather, it is an acknowledgement of the blessings and wisdom that God has placed in this world. Many people mistakenly believe that relying on medicine or doctors shows a lack of trust in God. On the contrary, using the means provided by God is an expression of gratitude and wisdom. When we fall ill, we are not meant to remain passive. God has created resources, knowledge, and professionals who are equipped to help us, and utilizing them is part of honoring the gift of life and the body we have been entrusted with. Our faith teaches us that God is the ultimate healer. Yet He has also created the laws of the natural world, medicine, and knowledge to guide us. When we consult a doctor, take prescribed medicine, or follow treatment plans, we are participating in the system God has provided. We are using His tools, His guidance, and His wisdom to restore our health. This does not contradict faith, it complements it. Faith strengthens our resolve to seek healing and motivates us to act responsibly. By taking the steps available to us, we demonstrate that we value the trust of our body and are committed to nurturing it back to health. It is essential to view medical treatment as part of the divine plan. No illness is beyond the reach of human understanding when it is paired with God's will docto. RS, nurses, and health professionals are instruments through which God channels healing. Their knowledge, skill, and dedication are blessings that have been bestowed upon humanity to alleviate suffering. By using these blessings, we participate in the process of recovery while recognizing that the ultimate source of healing remains God Himself. A patient who combines prayer with medical treatment is practicing a balance of faith and action which strengthens both the body and the spirit. Neglecting treatment, on the other hand, can be an act of disservice to the trust of the body. When we ignore symptoms, avoid consultations, or reject medicine out of fear or misunderstanding, we prevent the natural healing process from unfolding. Faith does not mean abandoning logic, reason, or the practical steps that lead to wellness. In fact, faith encourages responsibility and proactive behavior. It reminds us that our body is a trust and that we must take every necessary measure to protect and restore it. God has not left us helpless. He has provided the means to regain health. And using these means is an acknowledgement of His mercy. Furthermore, seeking medical help provides more than physical recovery. It provides psychological comfort, reassurance, and hope. When a person consults a knowledgeable professional, they gain clarity about their condition, guidance on treatment, and a plan for recovery. This structure reduces anxiety, promotes mental stability, and fosters a positive environment for healing. Faith, when paired with practical action, creates a holistic approach to recovery that addresses both the mind and body. Prayer and trust in God work hand in hand with treatment to create strength, patience, and determination, which are all vital elements in overcoming sickness. It is also crucial to understand that medicine and treatment are not a replacement for faith. They are a channel through which God's blessings flow. When we take medicine or undergo therapy, it is a way of cooperating with the divine system, using the resources God has placed in our hands. Every tablet, every injection, every therapy session is a tool created to aid the healing process. Ignoring these tools out of misunderstanding or fear does not demonstrate faith, it demonstrates negligence. True faith embraces both the spiritual and the practical, trusting God while utilizing the means He has provided to restore wellness. Additionally, seeking treatment is a lesson in humility and responsibility. Illness reminds us that the body, despite its strength and resilience, is vulnerable. By accepting help from professionals, we acknowledge our limitations and demonstrate respect for the wisdom that God has bestowed upon others. It is a recognition that while God has ultimate control, He has created a world where knowledge, skill, and expertise are valuable, and we are expected to use them wisely. Faith empowers us to act responsibly, to protect the body, and to take advantage of every opportunity for recovery. Parents, caregivers, and community members also play an essential role in this process. Encouraging loved ones to seek treatment, supporting them through the recovery journey, and fostering an environment of care and guidance are all part of using God's blessings effectively. Faith inspires us to be compassionate, proactive, and supportive, reinforcing the understanding that healing is not only a personal journey, but a communal responsibility. The combination of prayer, practical treatment, and community support creates a network that sickness cannot easily overcome, making the process of recovery stronger and more complete. Finally, it is important to integrate spiritual practices with medical treatment. While treatment addresses the physical aspect of illness, prayer, gratitude, and positive mindset address the spiritual and mental aspects. When a person maintains hope, prays for strength, and trusts in God while following medical guidance, the body, mind, and spirit work together in harmony. This integrated approach enhances recovery, strengthens resilience, and instills a deep understanding that God's blessings are abundant, accessible, and effective when combined with responsible action. A positive mindset is one of the most powerful tools we can use in the journey to overcome sickness. The body and mind are deeply interconnected, and the way we think and feel directly influences our physical health. When a person adopts a mindset of hope, determination, and resilience, they create an environment within their body that supports healing. Conversely, negativity, fear, and despair can weaken the immune system, increase stress, and slow down recovery. Therefore, it is essential to cultivate thoughts that uplift, encourage, and inspire, especially during times of illness. The mind, when aligned with hope and positivity, becomes an active participant in the healing process rather than a source of resistance or doubt. Prayer is a companion to a positive mindset and a channel through which we connect with the ultimate source of strength. Through sincere and heartfelt prayer, we express our dependence on God, seek His guidance, and request His mercy. Prayer brings peace to the mind, reduces anxiety, and fills the heart with hope. It provides a sense of comfort that transcends physical circumstances, allowing the individual to face challenges with courage and patience. When combined with a positive mindset, prayer reinforces the belief that healing is possible, that sickness is temporary, and that the body is capable of recovery with God's will. Gratitude is another crucial element that empowers the body to overcome illness. Even when we are unwell, there are always aspects of our life to be thankful for. The parts of the body that still function, the people who care for us, the knowledge and medicine available for treatment, and the simple blessing of life itself. Gratitude shifts our focus from what is lacking to what is present, from weakness to strength, from despair to hope. This shift in focus has profound effects on the body, reducing stress, boosting immunity, and encouraging behaviors that support healing. When we combine gratitude with prayer and positivity, we create a powerful triad that fortifies the body and mind against the effects of illness. The power of the mind in healing cannot be overstated. Many studies have shown that optimism and positive thinking are linked to faster recovery rates, better coping mechanisms, and improved overall health. When we approach sickness with a positive outlook, we are more likely to adhere to treatment plans, maintain healthy habits, and engage in activities that support recovery. Positive thinking does not ignore the reality of illness. Rather, it acknowledges it while refusing to allow it to dominate our lives. It is a conscious choice to focus on hope, strength, and the potential for healing rather than fear and limitation. Prayer complements positivity by nurturing the soul and reinforcing belief in the possibility of recovery. Sincere prayer aligns the heart with the awareness of God's mercy and wisdom, reminding us that we are never alone in our struggle. Through prayer, we find patience to endure discomfort, courage to continue treatments, and peace amidst uncertainty. The mind becomes calmer, and the body responds to this calmness with reduced stress levels, improved immune function, and greater resilience. Prayer is not merely a ritual, it is a transformative practice that empowers the entire being to confront illness with strength and hope. Gratitude further enhances the effectiveness of a positive mindset and prayer. By actively acknowledging the blessings in our lives, we create a mental and emotional environment conducive to healing. Gratitude encourages patience, reduces frustration, and fosters emotional stability, all of which are essential for recovery. When a person is grateful, they are more likely to appreciate the care they receive, follow treatment protocols diligently, and maintain a proactive attitude toward their health. Gratitude turns moments of weakness into opportunities for reflection, learning, and spiritual growth, reinforcing the understanding that even in sickness, life is full of blessings. These three elements, positivity, prayer, and gratitude, work synergistically to strengthen the body's natural defenses. Positivity encourages proactive behavior and adherence to treatment. Prayer provides spiritual support, emotional peace, and resilience. Gratitude shifts focus from limitations to blessings, fostering mental and emotional stability. Together, they create a holistic framework that empowers the individual to face illness, not with fear or despair, but with hope, strength, and determination. It is also important to understand that cultivating these practices requires conscious effort. It is natural to feel discouraged or anxious during illness, but we must resist allowing these feelings to dominate our thoughts. Small steps, such as beginning the day with a positive affirmation, setting aside time for prayer, and listing things to be thankful for each day, can gradually transform the mind and body. Over time, these practices create habits that reinforce resilience, reduce stress, and enhance the body's ability to recover. Furthermore, positivity, prayer, and gratitude influence not only our personal experience, but also the environment around us. When we maintain hope and faith, we inspire those, caring for us, encourage family members, and foster a supportive atmosphere that benefits recovery. Illness is rarely an individual journey alone. It affects families, friends, and communities. By embodying these qualities, we contribute to a collective strength that enhances healing and reinforces the understanding that sickness does not have the final word. Finally, it is essential to recognize that while medical treatment addresses the physical symptoms of illness, the combination of a positive mindset, prayer, and gratitude addresses the spiritual and emotional dimensions. Healing is most effective when body, mind, and spirit work together. When we cultivate hope, nurture faith, and practice gratitude, the body is empowered to overcome illness, and the spirit is strengthened to endure challenges. These practices remind us that we are not passive in the face of sickness, we are active participants in our own recovery. And with God's guidance and mercy, the body responds with remarkable resilience. Your body is a trust, a blessing, and a responsibility. It is not simply a collection of organs and tissues. It is a sacred vessel entrusted to you by God to carry you through life, to allow you to fulfill your purpose, and to experience the beauty of creation. When sickness comes, it is a reminder of this responsibility, and it calls upon us to honor, protect, and strengthen the body in every possible way. Understanding that the body is a trust transforms the way we think about health, recovery, and well-being. It moves us from a place of negligence to a place of active care, respect, and gratitude for the gift that has been given to us. The first step in honoring the body is recognizing its inherent value. Every heartbeat, every breath, every movement is a sign of the divine wisdom behind our creation. It is easy to take the body for granted when it functions well, but ill. Onez teaches us the importance of appreciation. When we are sick, we become acutely aware of the body's needs, its limitations, and its capacity for healing. This awareness should inspire action, prompting us to provide nourishment, rest, and care. Protecting the body means making choices that support its health, avoiding harmful habits, and seeking remedies when illness strikes. By doing so, we honor the trust that has been placed in our hands. Strengthening the body is another essential aspect of fulfilling this trust. Strength does not only refer to physical power, but also to resilience, endurance, and vitality. The body is capable of remarkable recovery when it is given proper nutrition, exercise, and care. Strengthening the body also includes seeking medical treatment when necessary, following professional advice, and taking preventative measures to avoid illness. By actively engaging in practices that enhance health, we demonstrate responsibility for the trust of the body and acknowledge the blessings of the Creator. The mind plays a crucial role in protecting and strengthening the body. Thoughts, attitudes, and beliefs have a direct impact on physical well-being. Negativity, fear, and despair weaken the body, while hope, faith, and determination support recovery. Protecting the body requires a positive mindset, the cultivation of patience, and the development of resilience. When sickness challenges the body, the mind must remain strong, confident, and aligned with the belief that healing is possible. The body responds to these mental and emotional cues, highlighting the importance of harmony between the physical and spiritual dimensions of health. Nourishment and self-care are fundamental ways to honor the body. Providing the right nutrition, maintaining hygiene, and ensuring adequate rest are practical expressions of respect for the trust we have been given. These practices are not superficial. They are essential acts of stewardship that empower the body to function optimally and recover when challenged. Avoiding harmful substances, managing stress, and adopting healthy routines all contribute to protecting the body and enabling it to fulfill its intended purpose. Each act of care, no matter how small, is an acknowledgement of the value and sanctity of the body as a divine trust. Sickness, while challenging, serves as a reminder of our duties toward the body. It calls us to be vigilant, to act responsibly, and to take proactive steps in preserving health. Ignoring the needs of the body, neglecting treatment, or engaging in harmful behaviors is a breach of the trust bestowed upon us. By contrast, recognizing the body's sacredness motivates us to persevere in treatment, to seek support when necessary, and to maintain hope and determination throughout the healing process. This awareness strengthens both the spirit and the body, fostering resilience and reinforcing the understanding that illness is temporary and manageable when approached with care and faith. Faith is central to this understanding. Believing that the body is a trust from God reinforces the importance of protection and care. It reminds us that we are not the ultimate controllers of health, yet we have a responsibility to use the means, knowledge, and blessings provided to us. Prayer, reflection, and spiritual awareness complement physical care, creating a holistic approach to well-being. When the body, mind, and spirit are aligned in this way, the individual experiences strength, balance, and resilience. Enabling the body to overcome illness and maintain health. Community and support also play a role in protecting and strengthening the body. Encouragement from family, guidance from caregivers, and the assistance of professionals enhance recovery and reinforce the value of the body as a trust. When we allow ourselves to receive support and provide support to others, we recognize the interconnectedness of human life and the shared responsibility to preserve health. This collective care amplifies individual efforts and contributes to a holistic environment where healing and well-being can flourish. Finally, understanding the body as a trust transforms the way we approach daily living. Every choice, every habit, and every action becomes a reflection of responsibility and respect. Exercise, proper nutrition, rest, and avoidance of harmful behaviors are not burdens. They are acts of gratitude and acknowledgement of the divine trust. Similarly, seeking treatment when sick, practicing patience during recovery, and maintaining hope are all ways of fulfilling this sacred responsibility. By protecting, honoring, and strengthening the body, we not only enhance physical health, but also cultivate spiritual and emotional resilience, reinforcing the understanding that the body is a precious trust that deserves our utmost care, attention, and respect.